Hi guys, my name is Parvati. I am a Survivor winner and I'm currently on Survivor season 40. It's called Winners at War and it's on CBS on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Since we're all cooped up in our homes right now, I figure maybe you guys can check it out. And if you haven't watched it yet, then you have a few episodes to catch up on, so get excited. All right, I'm super pumped to be talking with you today from the Character Strong team with these virtual assemblies. It's like so rad, Houston. Thank you for giving us this chance to connect in this way. What I want to share with you is something that I learned about kindness inside of competition. So, of course, I played Survivor, and Survivor is a game where, if you haven't seen it before, there are 20 people that are thrown onto a deserted island, and we have to compete with one another. So we're separated into two tribes of 10 people on each side. And then each team has to work with one another in order to survive. So we're on this deserted island. We have no food, we have no shelter, so we have to make shelter. We have to do our best to find food, which, doesn't happen very often. So we're pretty much living on like a little bit of coconut every day. And maybe if someone is a good fisher, then they bring in some fish. But it's like one baby fish for 10 people. You do the math. You guys are good mathematicians, aren't you? So in addition to that, we're all living on very little, and we're forced to work with one another in order to survive, meet our basic human needs of living. And then we meet together. These two tribes go to this playing ground, and we do these incredible obstacle courses where you're diving over things, swimming down into water, unlocking boxes, building these massive puzzles, hauling huge boxes, and it's just very physically intense. And then at the end, one tribe wins that challenge. They're safe. They go back to camp and they enjoy sleeping in the dirt that night, while the other tribe goes to tribal council where they have to get together and vote off one person from their tribe. Super competitive environment, really intense. And as you can imagine, in a competition like that, in an arena like that, there's a lot of fear that can run the show. So there's a lot of fear, and the voices inside my mind are screaming, what if you get voted out tonight? What if you fail? What if you lose? What if you're rejected and no one wants to be your friend and then they vote you out and you're gonna look like such a fool on national television? So there's all these like really scared voices inside my mind screaming. So those voices, what they do for me is they make me work really, really hard. So whenever I feel afraid that I'm not going to measure up, or I could fail, or I could lose, my reaction to that is work a lot harder. And if I'm consumed by those voices of fear inside my mind, it's very difficult for me to see the truth about other people, or to put myself in other people's shoes, or care about other people. So I'll share a story with you. One day this was like deep in the game in season 16, the season of Survivor that I won. And we don't know about the result of season 40 yet, so stay tuned. But on season 16, I was in a pretty solid position of power inside my tribe. And there was this one girl who was on the outside of that group. She wasn't in the popular majority group. She was an outsider. And she was the next person to be voted out of the game, and she knew it. And we all knew it. So everyone was kind of keeping our distance. And I don't know if you've had an experience of that, an experience of being an outsider before. Like, I know for me, it makes me think about like middle school. I was wildly uncool in middle school, not very fashion forward, just like a total uncool person, and didn't have that many friends. And I remember I moved to a new town and I moved into a new middle school, and I walk into school on day one and I'm like, I don't know any of these people. Is anyone going to be my friend? And I go and sit at lunch and like no one's sitting next to me. And it feels awful to be the outsider. It feels really bad because one of our basic human needs is love and belonging. So I wasn't getting that in middle school. This girl on Survivor also not getting that feeling of love and belonging. She knows she's on the outside. She's basically a leper. And this morning I wake up, it's like day 25 or something like that. And we're sleeping in a cave. So I wipe the dirt off my face, pull the twigs out of my hair, and I walk down to the beach to do my morning routine, which is, wash your face with some sand and salt water and scrub your teeth with a stick or your finger. And I see this girl sitting alone on the beach. And in that moment, I recognize that I have a choice. In that moment, I have a choice where I see this girl sitting on the beach. She looks sad. And I know what it feels like to be an outsider. So I know she's not feeling good, right? She could really use a friend right now. So my choice is I can put aside the competition for a moment and really be a human being with a heart and compassion and walk toward her and sit with her and look her in the eye and be with her and give her a moment of being seen and being heard and belonging and being connected. I can give her that. Or I can see her sitting there on the beach knowing that she's not feeling good and she could really use a friend right now. And I can let the competition run me. I can let that fearful mindset lead me away from connecting with her. I can let that fear of, what if my alliance sees me talking to this outsider? Will they then not trust me? Will they then turn on me? Will I then not be included too, just like her? So there's that push and pull inside of me in this moment where what it would require to make the kind choice and set aside the competition and to dial down the volume on my fear, what would be required in that moment for me is to have courage, to move toward her, and to not worry about what's going to happen in the future for me, but just to choose kindness and to connect with her in that moment. That requires courage on my part and moving forward. Even though I have the fear and I'm still having inside of this competition, I can still choose to connect with someone on a deep human level, but that requires courage. Now, the fearful choice is sort of the comfortable choice, right? It's like, actually, no, I'm safe where I am. I see her suffering, but it's not my responsibility to make her feel better, right? I can't risk that. I can't risk rejection to go out of my way to make someone else feel better. So that's something that Survivor, as far as the competition goes, really instills into the competitors' minds of like, no, this is about me and my protection and my survival at all cost. And making that choice based on fear and really staying inside of that mentality of I'm in this for me. That's honestly is what I did at that point, and I'm not proud of it. But what it did for me was made me doubt myself. It made me question, am I a good person? Because I didn't go help this girl when I had the opportunity to help her. So what does that mean about me? And, I don't have a chance to redo that. I've changed a lot of things in my life now that I know that courage and kindness really wins the game in the end. Like, I won the game of Survivor, but I didn't feel good about how I won the game. So winning at all cost, not helpful for me. So I wonder for you, where is it in your life that you're being really competitive and where that competitiveness inside of you is distancing you from being kind and really showing up for someone who needs it, or even showing up for yourself, giving yourself the courage making the courageous choice for you. Where is it that you're doing that in your life? Can you think about that? And when you think about it, what are you trying to win? What do you really want to get out of this experience? For me, and what I've learned and what I've really embodied is from learning that experience, from learning from that on Survivor, is courage is my number one. And relationships are really important to me. And now, even inside of a competition, I can still show up with courage and compassion and kindness. But I had to learn the hard way first. And, my hope and my wish for you is that you don't have to learn the hard way, that you can make the courageous choice to be kind no matter what. And anytime, I want to be very clear, anytime you make the courageous choice to be kind and supportive for yourself and for someone else, you win the game. Love you.